Hi, Adele. How are you? Oh, you're muted.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing?
How are you? You look good.
Same to you. I love your shirt. Nice and colorful. Super excited again for today. Always your workshops have quite become the highlight of my month. So super excited about this. And I was actually just reviewing our last session. And so for those tuning in now or watching the live or watching the replay, I wanted to, if you don't mind, Adele, kind of recap sort of what you shared last week and then maybe make some proposals of what we can dive into today, if that works.
Sounds awesome.
Perfect. And for those of you who are joining and it's your first time joining, I am sitting here with, well, virtually sitting here with Adele Tevlin, who is an expert in CBT, but also really weaves in law of attraction and so many other really next level modalities, weaving in spirituality and science and to really create the life of your dreams and giving you the practical tools to do so. So in the second segment last month, Adele, you asked us to reflect on 5 questions. What it is that we really want right now, why do we really want it, what obstacles could get in the way of us achieving what we want, even if that's, mindset stuff. How would you feel if you didn't achieve what you really desire? And number 5, are you willing to do everything it takes to get what you want? And I think you left us with these questions because I had asked you to share a little bit about, okay, everyone wants to manifest clients and, we're creating programs and all this stuff. So it's like, we need that. So I think you sort of had to scale me back and be like, let's reflect on some questions first before we dive in. So with that, where do you think we should begin if we're all kind of eager to learn more about manifesting clients and money success?
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Can you, by the way, see me okay? My light's on, but let me just make sure it's okay. Perfect. 1 second, okay?
Yep, totally.
All the way up, but I look a little dark, but hopefully you can see me. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
No, I can see you.
So thank you for that refresher. So let's just go back to why I asked those 5 questions. And did you answer those for yourself, by the way?
I did. I reflected on it that same day, and then I actually did the exercise again today.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. And did it give you clarity?
Absolutely, especially the how would you feel if you didn't achieve what you really desire? That one was big for me.
Yeah. So this is actually such an interesting thing because I always say to you, why I love to go with the flow in these sessions is I believe that life is the flow. And when you come too structured, you actually miss what could be there. And part of what shows up is every time we have our webinar, there's a theme of the week. And it's not a theme that I planned, but it's the theme that's come up in all my group coaching classes and all my clients and whatever. And this is the theme. I'm actually going to write it on the board today because this is what we're going to talk about. Okay. And it's kind of related to what those questions that we asked. So this is kind of let me just make sure the green I think works better. This is my daily mantra. And this is sort of, the sentence that I'm going to write down next, we could truly study this sentence in as a course. Okay. So I really want you to take what I'm writing down, not just go, yeah. I really want you to start to, as you're in this work, and now we're on session 3, and some of the people on these calls have just gone through a 5-part series with me in my other program. So I relate to you guys you're evolved people. So you need to look at things in a different way. Okay. It's a level of awareness. So here's what you're going to write. You can have whatever you desire, and don't worry, I'll give it to you again. Once you decide. So let's just think about that for a second. Like that sentence in and of itself, you can have whatever you desire. And in fact, it's kind of what we talked about last time. I think the law of polarity, I think I started to bring that idea that you can add to that, and everything you desire is already here. But you have to decide to step into it. So I want people to write that down. Because the word of the week, the theme of the week is this word called decide or decision. And we could spend this entire class talking about the reason you don't have what you want in your life is because you haven't made a decision. What does that mean? Well, how most people go through life. So let's just even look at this for a sec. So you, who do I mean when I say you? I mean you. I mean you, I mean me, the me that's you, the you that's me. You, whoever's reading this, can have whatever, oops, didn't mean to cross it out. Whatever you desire. Like truly, think about whatever. Not only a little bit or that's for someone else. You can have whatever you desire once you make a decision, once you decide. This statement has changed, this sentence has changed my life. Because what I was going to say there is most people go through life like, and you know, you'll laugh at this, but okay, I'll do that course when I have enough money. How many times have you said that to yourself? Like every day. Every day. I'll go on that trip once, yada, yada, yada. It's the I'll do this when this. If you don't take anything away from anything I've ever said, but take the following thing away, you would have gotten all your money's worth. That is the improper use of the law of cause and effect, and it's the improper use and formula to manifest. So when people are all like law of attraction, by the way, I don't prescribe to the law of attraction, I call it the law of manifestation, because the law of attraction assumes that you don't have you don't have something, it's coming from lack. Do you understand? You're trying to attract something you're not. But the law of polarity states everything in life was created as a whole with an equal and opposite. You are whole. Everything you want is already here. You just need to learn how to step into it to make it manifest in reality. That's why it's called the law of manifestation. But the problem is that you haven't made a decision. You want something, but you're waiting for something to happen to prove that you should do it. Think about that. You're waiting to have the amount of money. You're waiting for the you're waiting for something to be perfect to step into the thing to have what you want. And it's just not how it works. The decision comes first. Then the way presents itself. Think about that. Like, think about any time in your life you made a decision to do something and you didn't have, like, you were like, I'm going to take that trip to Bali. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it. I don't know where I'm going to stay, but I'm going to fucking Bali. And you bought a ticket to Bali, and what happened? Everything else manifested itself. If you are waiting for the right time, because time, the only time that exists is now, honestly, you have to stop acting like you have all the time in the world. Manifestation starts with a decision. That's why I'm harping on this word. It's not, how do I get all these clients and be a billionaire? Like, what do you mean? You have to decide. You have to make a decision. You're going to take that course. Doesn't matter you don't have the money. The money will show up. It's called trust and faith in the universe. It's stepping into that vision of yourself. Remember, we talked about that vision of yourself. Like, who do you want to be? And I always say to someone, you want to be, yeah, I want your question, like, you want to have X amount of dollars, right? You want to have X amount of clients. But the way that you behave is someone that has a scarcity mindset. How do you want to attract money when you're afraid of spending money? Just think about the ridiculousness of it. How are you going to attract clients to pay you what you're worth? when you won't even pay something for your own value. You won't even invest in yourself. This is why I always say, I think I shared this story in another class of mine, like I have spent over $100,000 on personal growth and development coaches in my life. It is the only reason I'm where I am. And it's paid dividends because I made a decision. What's the decision? I will do whatever it takes to get what I want. What does that mean? Whatever it takes. I had a coach that came into my life and recently, and he said, okay, like to work with me, it's like $60,000. I said, okay. And he goes, but you have to do everything I say. I said, okay. It's like, honestly, like Mike dropped the end. The law of manifestation is about you standing inside of, I am the creator of my life. I am an expression of the divine, whatever you want to call the divine, God, Allah, universe, higher self. I don't care. Whatever resonates for you. I like to call it the universe. If I am creator, if I am an expression of that, I am whole. Everything I want is already here. I just have to decide and choose to step into that. And that's going to look scary because you want something and the universe is bringing it to you. Like this coach that showed up in my life and he was like, you know, and I really wanted to work with him and I was like manifesting him in my life. And he's like, this is how much it's going to be. And I was like, I've learned in my life to say yes to things because the money always appears. Now, did I start there when I just started? No. I'm at a different level now. But you have to start by saying yes. Keeks, you had a question.
My question is, what if you're worried about you saying yes to too many things? There must be some capacity of,
yes,
you can't accept all of the offers and opportunities.
No.
And stuck with all of these things to pay for you. And so how do you kind of prioritize?
That's a great question. It's very simple. So here's what you want in life. You need to ask yourself that. That was part one. What do you really want? So everybody should be clear on that. And I don't want to hear, I don't know. If I hear, I don't know what I want, I'm going to go through the screen, even though I can't see your beautiful faces, and be like, shake you. Because I've heard I don't know like so many times, and I'm just like, this is why you can't create what you want. You don't even feel worthy of saying it out loud. If you don't know what you want, who the hell knows what you want? And by the way, it needs to be a selfish desire. And I know that's, for some people, it's like, but I want to save the whales. No, you don't. Come on, guys. You can't save the whales until you save yourself. It's the truth. So what's the selfish thing you want? It could be literally like, I want to buy myself a new car. I want to move into a new apartment. I want to earn my first 6 figures. I want to like have 25 clients, whatever. Be specific. Have it be what you want right now, not what you want in 10 years. Don't overcomplicate your life. You create confusion, and confusion shuts off your ability to manifest. This is what the ego does. It distracts you with all these, but like, what if this and what if that? And, oh, do I need to know exactly what I want in 5-year plan? There's no 5-year plan. There's what are you going to do right now? What's now? What do you want? 5 years is like, so many things are going to change. What do you want now? What do I want now? And then what's going to happen is here you are. And you're going to go to this, hopefully in a straight line, because that's the quickest way to get what you want. But stuff's going to come in. Distractions. Oh, shiny object syndrome. On this thing and this question. And the only question you need to ask yourself, to your point, Kiki, does this opportunity align with what I want? Yes or no? And it's clear. It can't be a confused, if it's an I don't know, I would actually put it in no. It doesn't, because you know what I'm talking about. Like, you are here on this call and you're clear. There's a purpose. It's moving you towards something you want. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. So, but things are going to come into your awareness like, oh, like I get it all the time. Like people are like, can you do this thing? And can you speak on this podcast? And can you do, and I used to say yes to everything because I was like, oh, I can't say no because it's like a scarcity. I can't repel. But it's like, no, The question is, does this person, place, or thing, opportunity, align with my vision? Because my vision is very clear. And if the answer is no, then I say no. And I only do things that are aligned on this vision. And you know it internally, you intuitively in your stomach, you feel it in your solar plexus when something's in alignment. So that's how you learn. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's interesting because all of this almost ties back into what you'd want to coach your clients on around how to commit to you. Because like, I mean, I'm working with business coach now, and she's always saying, you know, invite the no. And so what I'm hearing you say is, you know, if this opportunity doesn't even feel like a hell yes, then it's a hell no. Like if it's a, I don't know, then maybe it's a no. And I think that that would even be a tactic in actually booking and landing clients, being super upfront with like, hey, look, if this isn't going to lead, if you're not committed to your A to B transformation and you don't feel like us working together is going to get you there, then like, let's not waste either of our time. And
Yes.
I feel like that's, for me, it's been a practical tool to actually get more clients versus being this like needy, desperate person.
Yes. Totally. So that's going to lead into like our next part around manifestation. So part one is, let's talk about this in different parts. Part one is you have to decide. So let me speak to that in a little bit more. So wherever in your life you're suffering. So think about the word suffering, and don't mean it like you're suffering like you're dying or anything like that, but you're suffering. Okay. Because people get so funny about language. They're like, well, I'm not suffering, but it's like, you're suffering. Okay. Let's just be honest. We all suffer. Well, we don't have to suffer, but human beings love to suffer. Oh my God, do we love to suffer? So if you're suffering in your life, in any area, your finances, your body, your relationships, sexually, wherever, you're suffering. It's not what you want. There's 3 reasons why you're suffering. Reason 1, you're indecisive. See that word again? You haven't made a decision. You're sitting in the what ifs and how buts, and this person has told me they would let me know before I decide, and you're having everything be the cause of life. You're not the cause of your life. You are not, here's why you can't manifest. You don't have trust in the universe, because somebody that has faith, like I have, and I wasn't always this way, PS, like I could do a whole episode on my story, but I did not always have faith. I used to be exactly like all of you on this call, which is why you're attracted to me. Like, I was like, I need to know, and I'm very analytical, and like, just 2 + 2 = 4, and disaster. Okay. Then I had several very powerful coaches and experiences and education in my life that brought me to this point where now I literally have such trust and faith in the universe that I dive in. Yes is I lead with yes, if it's in alignment, by the way, of course. I'm always saying it like, of course, if it's in alignment. I'm not yes to something that's not. I don't even engage in that. Like, that's not even on my radar. And you know what? Things don't even come into my awareness anymore that's a no, because I'm so aligned. So it's like, I dive in. When someone's like, this coach is like, yeah, but you have to do everything I say, and it's this how much it is. Okay, great. Let's go. And can we start? I manifested this person. I wanted to. Then he presents the offer, and then you go and you say no. And then you wonder why you can't manifest, because you have no faith in the universe and you don't know how law of cause and effect works. You are cause. You are first cause in your life. Your thinking and mindset starts the causation process. People aren't doing things to you. You're the cause. And when you learn how quickly you're a manifester, people get scared and then they go, oh. And when you don't say yes, this is really important to write down. When you do not say yes to an opportunity that's in alignment to take you to the next level, you go backwards, you don't stay the same. Because energy is always moving. The law of vibration decrees energy is always moving. It's not staying the same. So there is no status quo. That's why things are yes or no. Hell yes, hell no. Moving forward, moving backward. So when an opportunity presents itself, and I promise you it probably will this week, because we've had this conversation and now it's in your awareness, and you're going to go, I don't know if I have $100 to do that program. then you're going to move backwards. You're wanting shit in your life to happen for free. Why? Whoever taught you that? Unlearn that immediately. Why would anything be free? Are you free? No. So the universe needs you to have faith. And you need to decide. Someone wrote, I can't believe I'm hearing from this today. Yeah, exactly. And I don't even plan it. That's how the beauty of it. Because I just know what's going to happen.
It's true. We don't even connect beforehand. Adele is so like, yep, I'm just going to.
I don't need to know. The less I know, the better. I don't want to plan. I want to be in the flow. And I'm speaking from lived experience, and I'm coming to this from a place of authenticity. Like, I live this too. I have those same concerns. Of course, money comes into my awareness, like, oh, but I believe in when I tell you that you can have whatever you desire once you decide. That even means with money. Like, never say no to something of value because of money. Don't use money as the excuse. It literally, you will not ever manifest money in your life if you use money as the excuse why you can't. Think about it. Think about it logically. How are you going to manifest clients who are going to pay you X amount of dollars when you're afraid of spending money? You'll go spend money on shoes and dinner out, but you won't invest in yourself. It's ridiculous. So part of the law of manifestation, it's not even say attraction, because I want you to get why I don't like attraction. Attraction, it literally has it that you are trying to attract what you're not already. And what I'm saying is you're whole and complete already. The law of polarity created you whole. You're just not in awareness with the piece of you that you need. It's like right here, but you can't see it because you're wearing like a mask on your eye. And once you start to dive in head first and you have faith, like you're like, okay, like I really want this thing and I want it so badly. And I'm going to align myself with that energy and vibration of the thing I want. Like, how do I want to feel? So part of manifestation is you manifest based on how you feel. This is really important to write down and underline. And then I'm going to give you a formula for manifestation after. But you always manifest based on how you feel, not how you think. Because think about it. Like, you don't manifest everything that's in your brain. That would be ridiculous. But you manifest based on how you feel. And it's funny because I was doing another webinar just before this, and I said to the group, you already manifest all the time, but you just manifest what you don't want. Most people manifest what they don't want. But they go through that formula. They're just using it towards what they don't want. They're not focused on what they want. So you manifest based on how you feel. What do I mean by that? Well, think about what you want right now. Like, what was the answer to, like, what is it that I really, really want? How does that make you feel when you think about what you want? Like, for you, Kiki, how do you feel about what you want?
I'll be honest with you, Adele. It makes me feel greedy. And I mean, it makes me feel happy if I were to get it. But it also, there's like a mixed feeling of like, oh my God, I would feel so successful and high on life and like powerful. And like, I was just this amazing creature of light that would be so giving. But then there's the other side of me that's like, oh, that would be greedy. And why is it that I deserve that?
Well, that's your ego distracting you. That's your ego telling you why you shouldn't. You're being a bad girl. That's your imprint. That's your core wound. Like, I'm not worthy. But you need to learn how to understand and distinguish. That's my ego. What feels more true for you? I would feel so alive and successful, or I feel greedy?
I would feel so alive and successful.
Yeah, that's how you feel. So you guys have to learn how to stop listening to your ego. Mm-hmm. What is greedy even? What does that even mean? Everybody can have what they desire. If you believe in abundance, it's not like you having it takes it away from me. That's a lack mindset. If I'm successful, you can't be. No, if I'm successful, you're more likely to be successful. I always say, like, you know, when I started spending a lot of money on coaches, and I've trained and coached under some of the best in the world, and that's why I said I've invested a lot in myself, because I had a coach that once said to me, ask yourself what you want, whatever it is, and then find someone who has it and then be in their energy field. That's why it's an investment to work with them and with me, because you want to emulate what I've done, and then you want to be in the energy of it. Because my goal is that if I've done it, I can teach you how to do it. I want you to be successful. That's a very mass consciousness bullshit approach to life. Oh, if Kiki's successful, I guess she's taken all the business in the world. Like, I can't be successful. No, if Kiki's successful, how do I hang out with Kiki so I can learn how she got successful? Am I willing to do what it takes? Remember that question. Am I willing to spend the money on Kiki? Am I willing to spend the money on Adele? Am I willing to spend the money on this? Am I willing to do that? You always have to be learning and spending and growing. It's not like you got somewhere and you're done. Like, do you think like Tony Robbins is done? Dr. Joe, like, you think he's done learning? No, that's why they're the best of the best. So, like, you have to ask yourself, how is what you want going to make you feel? Not your ego, but like when you think about it and you step into it in your imagination, like, and you imagine yourself there, if you don't feel gratitude, love, and joy, that's the wrong vision. You're not wanting, that's not what you want then. That's actually, you don't want to visualize something that doesn't make you feel good. Because again, a key to manifestation that The Secret doesn't talk about and the law of attraction doesn't talk about is you have to align how you want to feel, and you have to take action. So the law of attraction misses the whole piece about taking action. You can't just like sit there on your couch and meditate and not do anything. That's such a bunch of bullshit. That's why there's people out there. That's why I don't like the law of attraction, because there's people that are engrossed in personal development, but they're broke because they don't actually, that's why it gives it a rap. Become like, okay, now, okay, like I'm constantly like action, like aligned action, aligned action, aligned, like you should see my schedule when you look at my calendar for the day. Like, so how you want to feel. So people want what they want because of how they think it's going to make them feel. You want to write that down. You want what you want. This what you really want. Even if it's like $1 million or whatever the goal is for you. I want $1 million. Why do you want $1 million? Because, you know, how is that going to make you feel? It's going to make me feel like free. Good. So what you actually want is to feel free. Cool. How can you start feeling free today? How can you feeling free today? Oh, I want the car because it's going to make me feel happy. Okay, great. How about choosing happiness today? The law of manifestation is about a couple things. Having a clear vision or intention. I use those interchangeably. So again, that's why when you're in confusion, you're not in manifestation. So you have to stop saying you don't know what you want. If you leave here today and get one thing straight, stop pretending you don't know what you want. Stop acting confused. It cuts off your ability to create. You're not confused. And if you don't know what you want in 5 years, cool. Nobody needs to know what they're going to want in 5 years. What do you want now? Maybe that means I want to go buy myself a really nice pair of jean shorts. Awesome. Start with that. Like, don't overcomplicate it. I want to finally write the course for my online program. I want to earn $5,000 this month to pay for that coach I wanted to work with. Like, whatever. Pick it, keep it simple. Start simple until you learn how to really become a master manifester. Actually, like, even do something like in one of the courses I just taught, one of the girls is a naturopath, and we did the manifestation session, and she's like, she came back to class the next week. She's like, Adele, it worked. It was so crazy. I'm like, what? I'm like, why are you surprised? And she's like, no, like I said, I wanted 10 new patients, like whatever. And she literally was like, not 8, not 9, not 11, 10. Like I do this every time I'm running a course or a program. I will say, I'm creating that 40 people register. And I hold that intention and 40 people register. Not 39, not 38, not 42, 40. Clear vision and intention, number 1. Number 2, focus on how you want to feel. Specifically, the emotion of manifestation is gratitude. Why gratitude? Because gratitude elicits, it sends a signal energetically to the universe, like, thank you that it's already happened. It's like stepping into that again, here's that word, trust in the universe. Like, so if I say I want something, I want this many people in my class, or I want to, I don't know, launch my thing, or I want to earn a certain amount of money, or I want a certain amount of clients, or I want to buy a house, like that's my next thing, is like buying a new home for my family. Like, okay, like then I think about that, I align that vision, and then I'm like, how do I want to feel? Well, I bring in gratitude because I'm like, thank you, universe, for already providing that for me. Like it's already here. And then you can also focus on how you'd feel when you already got it. Like, how would you feel if you already had everything that you wanted? That's a really good question to ask yourself. How would I feel if I had everything I wanted? You'd feel happy and joyful and free and enthusiastic and all these high vibration emotions. The key is that the emotion is high vibration. If you feel shitty, then that's not the right vision. And then 3 is take aligned action. Jump in and say yes. Take aligned, that's the key. Aligned action, say yes. So how that works, if I just do this little quick sticky guide, you've got your thinking mind, your conscious mind, your feeling mind, which is your subconscious mind, and your body, which is also your mind. Remember we talked about this before? Your mind is your conscious, subconscious, and the body. When those 3 planes of awareness are in alignment, you manifest. And this is important because think about this for a minute. How many times, be honest, have you had the right intention? I am channeling and da 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 da, I feel so great, like da da da, but your emotional state is off. And then you're taking action, but it's coming off emotion. How many times have you done that? You're coming from fear. So you're doing the sales call or you're doing the conversion conversation and you're like, oh fuck, I don't have money for rent. Oh shit, if this person doesn't sign up, I'm doomed. They pick up on this because it's called the double binding message. It's a whole other conversation. It's literally people are picking up on your subconscious. So if you're like, have a clear vision, but you're not focusing on how you want to feel, which is so, so, so important. And even though you're taking action from the wrong feeling. Think about it this way. Right? 2, 2, 2. 2 plus 1 plus 2 does not equal 6. You're doing this. It's 1 integer off. Think about it like it is a mathematical equation. When you get really straight, if you're feeling anxious or you're feeling, or any one of these is off, even if like your feeling's good, but the action's off, or your intention's not on. That's why most people are not good at doing this, because you have to hold, this is like a skill. What do I want? Clear vision. How do I want to feel? How will that make me feel? What's the aligned action? What would someone who already had that, how would they behave? That's a great way to ask the question. If I had $1 million, how would I behave? Would I say no to a course because I couldn't afford it? No. If you had all the money in the world, what kind of choices do you think you'd make? Would you ever say, oh, sorry, I can't afford that $400 program that's going to change my life? No, of course you wouldn't. But you do that now, but you hope to become a millionaire. I mean, it doesn't make any sense when you really think about it. I really hope this lesson completely shakes your whole world up, because I'm so tired of seeing really smart health practitioners be broke.
I think that question, you know, if I was already that person, how would I behave? That's something that we can really take action on now and sit with, you know, and move forward with in this next month and see how things shift, because that alone I think is really, really powerful. And that comment that you just mentioned about, practitioners being broke. Also what I see is, oh yeah, I'm doing this program in like 4 months because I need like 4 months to plan it, or like 4 months, like, but it's almost like things that, let's be real, like you could put it out in 24 hours if you, but you need like a 4-month runway for it, you know?
It's excruciating to listen to. In fact, like people that coach with me, like one thing you'll learn is I'm firm with love. Like I am like, that is absolute dog shit. Like nobody successful in life, like I study success and the elite mind. Like I've been working with successful CEOs my entire career. I am obsessed with what makes people elite and what makes people thrive and all that. Do you think Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or any successful Steve Jobs, do you think that they thought that way? I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'll get on the court today and I'll fucking shoot 10,000 things. Even if I get 9,000, there's a great Michael Jordan quote that said, like, I missed 9,000 shots in my career, but I went up to the net every time. He doesn't focus on what he missed. And you want to be successful, but you have no idea what it takes and you're not willing to do it. And then you wonder why. Or you make all sorts of excuses for yourself. And the minute you stop making excuses, and please, as of today, stop using money as an excuse. It is literally repelling money from you, which is why I never say no to an aligned opportunity. I don't care. I mean, like, as long as like it's in alignment and I feel it in my body, I have faith that when I say yes, all the shit works out, and that 60,000 that I'm going to spend there is going to make me $1 million. So that's good math and business. And if you aren't prepared to spend money, people are not going to spend money with you. That's why you can't convert. I can teach a whole lesson on sales conversations. Like, you can't convert because you're scared shitless.
I was literally going to say, Adele, if you don't mind, you mentioning about being on those prospecting calls and them kind of picking up on possible, you know, glitches in your subconscious. Maybe that could be something we dive into in one of our future sessions, like either how to prepare yourself for the call, or what to channel when you're on the call, or what to look out for. Because yeah, I've definitely been there where I've been on calls and I'm like, oh my God, that felt so right. Like they picked up on it. It was like awesome. And then there has been calls where I'm like, ooh, like that didn't quite go as planned, and I can't help but think, like, what was it that I was worried about, or what fear was coming through that they picked up?
We can do a lesson, it's called the double binding message, but just to make like a long story, and we can get more into detail, but to make a long story short, it's like they said no because you had a value conflict subconsciously.
Yeah.
It's not because you communicate consciously, you communicate through words, writing, and gestures. Subconsciously, you communicate through vibration. So if you have a value conflict, what does that mean? Either you don't feel worthy of what you're charging, bingo, or you don't believe in what you're doing. We've all been there. Like you've maybe worked somewhere where you were selling something that you didn't really believe in. and you're doing the script, but it's not resonating because there's a value conflict. You're consciously doing one thing, but subconsciously there's a value conflict. And the person is in their gut, they're like, this doesn't feel right. I don't know why.
So how do we raise that value? I know for me, if I may, it's that I'm like, oh, well, people don't have money. Because like that's often what people will sometimes say if you present a high ticket offer. And then because I've been there, I'm like, yeah, I believe it. And I'm like, yeah, they don't have money. And I'm learning that no, apparently some people do have money, right? And like you can't always just think that. And so what is it that
Yeah.
you do so that we start believing that people will pay for?
So a couple things. Part one is you have to stop believing people's story that they have money, and you have to stop getting enrolled in it. Like, people have money for what they value. Have you ever not bought something you value? Like, don't you remember being in like university and having like $7 in your bank account and you like went to Aritzia and like bought a headband? Like,
totally. Spending like $1,000 on laser hair removal when I was like zero income. Yeah.
You have afford what you value. So don't get fucking sucked into the bullshit of can't afford it. No, you just don't value it. Let's just get straight. Cool. Not a value alignment. Awesome. Say, great. You don't want them to work with you. The other part of your question, how do you feel worthier? That's an ever evolving process of this work. That's being a student of this work, of literally healing that narrative where you don't feel that and start to step into the person that does feel that. And that takes time. That takes consistency. That's like, and then here's the thing, the more your results start to change, your beliefs start to change. So maybe you don't feel worthy, but then a couple people buy your high ticket thing. Right away, your beliefs like, oh wait, maybe I am. Maybe I'm actually good at my job. Cool, that's funny. But most of you are sitting there waiting for something to happen, and like, as opposed to, let me go, let me try, let me step in, let me fail, let me learn, let me have it be not perfect, let me take aligned action, let me be clear, let me stay clear, let me say yes to what aligns, no to what doesn't, and like, let me prove to myself that I'm worthy of it by virtue of taking action. Like, I didn't start off charging what I charge. I mean, I remember when I first started my practice, like, God knows, it was like a fraction. Like, it was barely enough to pay my rent at the office, okay? Because I was like, I had to prove to myself that I was valuable and worthy. And then I started to prove it by virtue of my results with people, and my confidence you step into confidence once you do the thing. Confidence doesn't come first. Courage comes first, then confidence comes. So then I was like, oh wow, I'm really good at this thing. Let me charge this, and let me charge this, and because it's an investment, because I was also investing in myself. Like, if I've spent 100 grand on personal growth development and on all my education, and every time I would get more educated about something, I increased my value and my rate, because I was like, I'm investing in myself to better you. So it's like that then started to tweak the belief that I'm not worthy, because I'm like, every time I increase my value, people said yes. And some people said no. People still say no, and that's cool. I don't focus on the no's. The no's are just not a value, not aligned value-wise. I'm always grateful when people say no, as long as they're like, I like a decision, yes or no. Don't give me a maybe. I think a no is wonderful. Good for you for standing up for your no. Because you don't want to work with someone who's not in alignment with you anyway. So I hope that makes sense. Like, courage comes before confidence. Confidence comes from taking action. Action produces a certain result. That result starts to shape your belief. I'm just noticing some stuff Gina said, light bulb moment. And yeah, so I know we're at 2:45, but I have another 5 minutes. If there are any questions in the Q&A chat, like, feel free.
Q&A. What are the boundaries to set, and how do you educate family about this? I'm assuming this was an anonymous attendee. I'm assuming she's mentioning boundaries because of that, possibly, Adele, when you say, you know, do whatever it takes. Maybe that's triggering for some people, like slave away, hustle, like kind of their whole life, like personal life on hold so that they can get everything they want.
Well, that is also like a very scarcity mindset way to even think. So when I say do whatever it takes, I don't mean violate other people's boundaries. Obviously, do whatever it takes for you to achieve what you desire, as long as you're not hurting and violating other people. And guess what? When you're doing whatever it takes to get what you desire, there will be some effort required, and you might have to compromise some things at the beginning. And anyone that tells you otherwise is not telling you the truth. But nothing lasts forever. You have to build up the momentum, and then you go into what we call the quantum leap. The quantum leap is when it's maximal results for minimal effort. But if you're just starting out, like, you might have to say to your family, I can't, you know, do dinner every night. I've got to go do this for now. I can't go with my friend at night and get wasted and not have and be off on Monday. And not, like, you do have to. Every successful, really successful person has had to sacrifice something. And you actually have to ask yourself, it's a really great question, actually. You want to make sure that the thing that you really want, you're willing to trade some of your life for in the moment, for now. Because if you're not, then you're never going to do the thing, because something else will come in. Like your Aunt Nancy will have a cold, and then you're going to have to go visit her at the hospital. And like all that stuff is going to distract you. So you, as long as you're not doing anything to violate anyone else's values or boundaries, you can have whatever you want once you decide. And don't get all hung up on what does whatever mean. Whatever means whatever to you. And it's actually, you are a creator. You can create anything you want. You can create, you've already created everything you have. Make sense?
Totally. Oh my God, this conversation definitely rocked the boat in a good way. For those watching right now, so I'm gonna propose that maybe in our next session we kind of dive a little bit more into those calls with clients and sort of that prospecting journey, which I know is frightening for some people, including me. But if there is any other attendees that they would like to throw out other ideas or questions for next round or for future rounds, please contact either me or Adele directly. Probably need to give Adele less work, but you can slip it in the Meal Garden DM or contact me, Kiki at mebyKiki.com, and I'll be sure to let Adele know before and trust her to go with the flow and provide value. Thank you so much, Adele. I'm so ready to, you know, start being that already billionaire, gazillionaire, happy person. So until soon.
Awesome. Okay, ladies and gents, see you soon. Bye. Bye.